Wait for a few more people to join. Um, little vibey. Just waiting for Abby. Oh, sweet, Abby's here. Okay. I guess I guess I can start. I feel like this is gonna be like everybody that shows up for right now, so I darted out of the spa, my eyes peering through the hall as I screamed at the top of my lungs um from for help from anyone. Help! Two people swept at the sound of my voice. What is it? Stop making so much noise. The music is making enough of a racket. It's Pandora. She's where is she? We raced to the spa lounge. Cyrus and Cannon's eyes were bound immediately towards the horrific sight. Oh. Cannon gasped sharply and flinched near the topping over the backward, and nearly toppling over backwards from the recoil. Cyrus' expression hardened. A quiet, angry, emented from a quiet, angry, emented from him is almost palpable in the air. I myself was completely drained. All I could do was stare in cold silence. Finally, the music cleared and the new announcement began. Oh no. At last, a body has been discovered in the lounge. You will be granted a of investigation, and then we will begin our class trial. Please accept this generous gift as a special report called the Monokuma File. It will be printed from the digital kiosk, and it outlines the detail of our poor lost friend. Your lives depend on solving this case, so get a crack on. Oh, so okay, but where's Monokuma? They just don't want to draw Monokuma in their style. The announcement cut off. They cut out, allowing stiff apprehension to suffocate the scene. Investigation? They want us to investigate Pandora's dead body. And how dare the announcement call her a poor lost friend? It's their fault they're forcing this game on us. Echo, please calm yourself. Ack. It appears that we've been given an opportunity to right this wrong. It may be difficult to swallow, but this didn't just happen out of nowhere. Someone did this. The culprit. Huh? The culprit? It's only appropriate. The culprit we're seeking is the killer, is responsible for, sorry, the culprit we are seeking is the killer, is responsible for Pandora's death. His voice was firm, but I could see him clenching his jaw. His eyebrows furrowed as he looked back at the body. Karen, however, was stood unmoving. She neither spoke nor she neither moved nor spoke since I saw her flinch at the first sight. It's like she's froze. Right. The door flew open and suddenly I heard everyone clamoring at the spa lounge entry. Eek! Oh wait, I have a mouse now. Let me use my mouse. What am I doing? Guys, I am not a pro gamer, I promise. I have no idea what I'm doing. Okay. Oh, I forgot that. Side doesn't work. C shrieked immediately and immediately fainted. Okay, so she really is the Toko of this game. C! The rest of the students made their way in, fright painting everyone's faces as they each caught sight of Spa's terrible centerpiece. Unbelievable. I wish that announcement was just made in jest, but it appears I have been made a fool for hoping. Oh. Heck, this is too much. Why Pandora? Why? Oh, it's Ashley. Okay, so she's not dead yet. Everyone seems at loss for good reason for sure. The announcement said that we were given a period to investigate, but I couldn't help but think it was such a detached request. Investigate the murder of our friend? Where would we even begin? Missy's commanding voice broke the silence. So, we've been instructed to investigate such a thing. The Monokuma file should tell me all about, should tell all about the means of her death. But how do we even start? Does anyone know the first thing about investigating a dead body? No one spoke, but Misty pressed on. All we can do is investigate to the best of our abilities. If there's even a small, trifling matter that plays into this, keep it in mind. We need to put our best foot forward and investigate if we are to find this heartless culprit. I have a bad feeling that this class trial may be an unforgiving scene. It's such a tragedy, dreadful more so, that we must be the ones to discover the culprit among us. Everyone was visibly stressed. We stood some feet away from the body, afraid of approaching the reality of our situation. There's something in the water. That's gonna be like the first thing I check out. The air was thick with tension, but Ashley cut through. Missy's right. We need to get to the bottom of. Sorry, Mrs. Right. We need to get to the bottom of this. Someone killed our friend for some awful reason. I mean, it's not for the ultimate prize. Murder is murder. Someone dies at another's hand, and that life is taken away. One life and one lives and one dies. There's no gray area about it. Ashley's eyes were fiery with intent. She's defending her girlfriend. No, literally, say is just Toko in a different font. Someone here. She trailed off, but she couldn't fill in the blanks of her own words. She didn't dare to utter the idea of someone standing within our ranks did this. She marched over and gently laid a hand on Pandora's. sharing a moment of silence for her. The rest of the group was unnerved, but silently agreed. God, you will be missed, Queen Pandora, Rock, Queen. Missy and Ashley were stern, but they were right. I was shocked at the sight of Pandora's body, but I mostly felt sad. Yeah, I would too. She looked peaceful, suspended in a newfound endless slumber. Yeah, at least like okay, at least they didn't make her death like gory and bloody. Like I really hope it was just like a humane death. She looked peaceful, suspended in her newfound endless slumber. The longer I look at Pandora, the more the suffocating melancholy in my heart grew. My heart ached to hear her voice. My heart ached to hear her voice again, to see her smile. She had so much life, and it was dashed away in an instant. I clung to whatever memories I had of her. I couldn't let her warmth, her love, her hope go unforgotten. Someone killed her, and we need to find out who. Not only for our peace of mind, but for Pandora's sake. Oh, she has like marks on her neck. Okay, I think she was strangled. Despite my fever, um, despite my fever? I think it's fever. I don't know. I was still anxious about investigating a body. It was only natural. Just this morning, Pandora was so animated sharing her breakfast pastries and getting along with everyone, but now all signs of life were erased, living semblance, a cold semblance of her person. Okay, but what is it with like characters that know how to cook dying early? Like, okay, Teru Teru, Kirumi, um, Pandora. There was none in the first game. And I can't really recall anybody in Danganronpa another besides like Akane who made it far and Mikado. But like I tried to work through the nerves by asking the others their thoughts on the situation. That is, if anyone had anything to say. Investigate. Oh, okay. Okay, I don't think there's anything else in this room, so we're going first. There's a scrap of paper in the pool. What's that? Not sure. I carefully fish out the scrap of paper, taking care not to tear it. Oh, I know what that is. It was soaked, causing the words to be completely illegible. Oh, it's impossible to read. Yeah, it's ruined. It almost fell apart in my hands. A note, perhaps? However, the writing is impossible to decipher at this point. But how could this refuse be remotely related to the case at hand? Dunno, it seems kind of out of place, though. Remember the announcement from this morning said there was a special gift for whoever went to the altar, atrium? That's correct. If it is possible that this note was the supposed special gift, I can't say. However, I noticed the larger ink blots were vaguely in the shape of something I'd seen before. The left shreds of paper on the side of the pool. No, I'm pretty sure it's the note as well. That's what I'm feeling. It's Pandora's body. Pandora's bracelet form a rose glitter collar like mine, with now, I mean, was now neon vibrant pink. I guess it meant she's gone. I mean, as difficult as it is, we have to search the body and scenes for clues. Nevertheless, Missy was having a hard time looking directly at Pandora's body. Yeah, okay, so like there's marks on her neck. Like you can see them, like do you notice anything odd? I briefly looked at Pandora's neck. Her neck seems to be in pretty bad shape. It looks red from some kind of stress. But other than that, I can't really figure anything else out. This is difficult. Whether we're looking at the body of a victim report, I mean, the fact remains to investigate a horrible thing. We ought to take a look at the report properly. Perhaps we'll learn something. Is Monokuma file. The Monokuma file shed some light on Pandora's death. It looks like a considerably amount. It looks like a considerable amount has been conveniently omitted, or rather, the entire file has been paraphrased for the purpose of vagueness. May I take a look? Missy handed me the black postcard size sheet. Oh, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Victim, Pandora Espere. Cause of death, victim suffered from strangulation, no further injuries detected. So, strangulation. But is that all the information we have? Unfortunately. However, we have yet to inspect the scene itself. I trust none of the witnesses shifted anything upon arrival. No, I didn't touch anything. I saw her body, ran out, and yelled for help, which called Cyrus and Cannon. Neither of them approached her. Well, there's not much we can do. Oh, we have to. Let's. Oh, I love these little animations. Okay, I'm gonna start with Say. Fainted as soon as she entered the spa lounge. For it was kind of enough to situate her in the spa chair, off to the side to regain her strength. I might as well talk to Fort next. It's really possible that music provoked murder. I can't wrap my head around the music being enough to motivate something so extreme. I agree. What is going on in... I agree, I cannot condone the vilifying of music. It's proven that music is therapeutic, has therapeutic qualities, but conversely, select sounds have the ability to cause anxiety and other negative effects. In that case, maybe the modifying music was meant to keep us thinking clearly. I mean, I definitely felt startled when it began. Perhaps the rhythm of the music can affect your body. Given our experience with the motivating music, it was high paced and likely used to cause, and the announcement said blood pumping excitement. I suppose those qualities could have been abused to activate the fight or flight response that would have inevitably end up like this. Is that so? That wretched music was certainly irritating, but for someone to succumb and produce such an intense reaction, to what end? Was the music really that motivating? I don't. Okay. I like the characters, but like, the thing with this game is that I feel like the motives are a little weak so far. I admit this is nothing if not shocking to see. The words were unwavering, but Missy's voice cracked and disjointed. Yeah, I can't believe it actually happened. It's inconceivable, and to Pandora nonetheless. She held together quite strongly. I'm certain her spirit would have not been crushed by a game constructed of fear. Alas, there is no use thinking and in hopeful hypotheticals, now that has occurred. Yeah, I was shaken at how accurate, articulate, art, articulate even the subject of death Missy remained. Lily! Hmm. Lily, what are you thinking? If I'm being honest, I don't know. There's not a lot of scene. There's not a lot of scene to dissect. The only thing that caught my eye were the shreds of paper in the spa pool, but it's completely ruined. Hmm. I expected a bit more keen observation, but Riley was either stumped or too shocked to speak on the matter. Don't talk to me. Can spoke through tightly gritted teeth. She looked disturbed. Mm, we're gonna do art. Ugh, I think I'm going to be sick. I rubbed his back as he took a deep breath. Hey, it'll be okay. Ugh. I could barely eke out a word in his state. Poor Art, man. Ashley. Echo. It's selfish, but after I heard the announcement, I was relieved to see you standing in the room. That said, Pandora didn't deserve this. No one deserved this. I just hope she didn't suffer. Ashley felt silent and started and stared at our lost friend. Her lost girlfriend. I'd never seen Ashley so distraught. This is distressing to say the least. Echo, where were you? I mean, you were the first one here. Yeah, I didn't catch anyone on my way here, though I can't say I mean, but, and so I can't say I saw anyone suspicious who could have done this. You came pretty quickly after I shouted. Did you happen to see anyone? I can't say that I did. I was at the climbing center right next door, too. Was Cannon with you? She seemed I mean, she came about at the same time as you, if I recall correctly. No, I was by myself while I was in the climbing center. I felt the door open if anyone wanted to join in recreation. No one came by the center, and I didn't leave until I heard your voice. I ran into Cannon shortly and thereafter in the hallway just in front of the spa lounge. Weird, I didn't run into anyone on the first floor either, so whoever did it must have just vanished. Or that's unlikely, regardless. How did the culprit give us the slip? Cyrus was grumbling to himself as he tried to organize the events past. But I talked to everybody. I'll investigate. Continue. I love Cyrus. After investigating Pandora's body, I felt exhaustion like none other. Nope, she loaded. Never in my life did I think I would be experiencing something like this. The weight of the shock and melancholy of it all bore heavy on my shoulders. Is there anything else we can do? I wonder, did anyone see anything else suspicious on their way here? We all looked at one another, but no one replied. Everyone was understandably on edge. Of course, no one wanted to talk. It appears we've exhausted all the avenues of investigation here. Such a lackluster amount of clues doesn't bode well for us. Yes, but we've all done all we can looking into the scene. There's nothing left to do but discover Pandora's killer. Of course, that's easier said than done. Grr. I heard Cannon grumbling in the corner. She seemed distressed. Okay, I hate to say it, but Canon, Say, and Art are kind of like my three suspects right now. Um, that's just like my theory. Um, see, okay, I like this cast. Like, there's not a character I hate, so I don't want like any of them to die. I'm like, I love all of these characters, but like, I don't know. Great. I think I've given you all, enough leeway to get yourselves together. So it's time for the class trial. I hope you have enough ammunition to shoot down the culprit. If not, then I guess you're all out of luck. There is an elevator on the main foyer that will cruise you all down to the special class trial courtroom. If you're not assembled in the elevator quickly, I will send out a radio transmission that will release the toxic gas in your bracelet. If you want to find out who did it, right? You want to find out who did it, right? You don't want your lives to end before you even had a chance to defend yourselves, right? All that and more will be available for you in the group. For your group in the courtroom. Let's get a move on. I'll be seeing you shortly. The announcement went out as quickly as it came. So, this is really happening. The group shifted around anxiously. Well, what are we waiting for? Well, what are we waiting for? Ashley took the first strides out of the room, but not before giving Pandora one last somber look from the doorway. Poor gently eased Say awake, turning her gaze from the unsightly scene and helping her as she hobbled out. One by one, the others filtered out of out of the spa lounge. I stood back for a moment to take one last look at Pandora. Yeah, no, that was a quick investigation. We all stepped into the large elevator and began the dark descent into the supposed courtroom. The elevator was sealed noisily towards our unknown destination for what felt like an eternity. Silently we stood. No one dared speak. I had a lump in my throat from anxiety, the fear, the sadness. My stomach was knotted, my head dizzy, my heart aching. The lounge we were meant to investigate came short of any useful clues. We were only able to produce two traces of evidence. One was which was already stated simply in the victim report, and the other was a secret note that only few were aware of. Nervous was an understatement. I was at a complete loss. The elevator eventually slid to a standstill, shaking me from my thoughts. The doors opened revealed a Renzibus point. A spacious dome-shaped room was topped with a glass ceiling. A third of a foundation revealed the sunset sky outside of our confines. The walls themselves were barren and simple, a matte navy blue with a rim light illuminating the room. Hanging on the wall across the way was a grim picture frame representing Pandora. Her profile had been crudely stricken with a violent pink X. I'm sad there's no elevator pose. It was a bleak place to think, but there was a but there was it was bleak it was a bleak place to think there was a dedicated location for whatever was about to occur. Just where were we? Welcome to welcome one and all to the trial grounds. The stands before you will be the key locale for today's trial. So let's set the hustle, people. Oh, I just realized I haven't posted live on my story. I should probably do that. Okay. The ascent was made more imposing in the courtroom, echoing through the dome chamber. Each each reverberation almost pushing us into place. We steadily settled in and stood in silence. At the stands, we were placed in a circular formation. Our faces, our fears, our emotions we were exposed to one another. The atmosphere was thick with anxiety. It was palpable and crushing. I could feel my heart pounding in my head. My palms were sweaty. Yeah, I could just feel the dreadful, eerie chill up my spine. I tried to be strong, but my knees were weak, my breath short. We were here for one unmistakable fact. Someone killed her. Okay, I'm also going to fill up my water bottle. I will be right back. I also got pretzels. Not much. Just stuff about the thing about the courtroom. Someone killed her. No, I don't want to quit. But I do want to save my progress. Someone killed her. Pantora Espray, the ultimate baker. A gentle, caring person who wanted nothing more than to share her good spirit and delectable treats with the world. My God! There she is! There she is, guys! Crying. Someone here was responsible for her death. And the only thing keeping me standing firm was the drive to figure out who heartlessly ended her life. I bet it was Abby. Oh, wait, a flicker began. And a light flicker began weakly in the center of the circle of the stands. The flickering gathered strength, and the shape of a began to take form within the light. Something like a shape of a person began to appear. Oh, you were right! This is our mascot! Wahahaha! Welcome, one and all! Welcome to the courtroom! Who are you? What is this? What is that? Who am I? What is that? Answer those questions don't mean answers to those questions don't matter too much. Besides, I think you ought to have more pressing questions since something super bad has transpired. I mean, all you really need to know is that I'm your lovely judge for today's trial. Okay, maybe I'm not a real certified judge or whatever, but I will be the one passing judgment on what happens today, and after each subject murder has to come. Judge, but not really a judge. It's too long and confusing to address. So you may call me Zero. So is Zero or Mastermind? Do we just know the Mastermind from the start? Or is he like an AI? Feel like I is this like a game where we know the mastermind from the start? The hologram of the person named Zero presented itself, giving a face to the voice of our killing game announcer. Class trial, all rise. Oh my god, we're starting this. Without a further ado, I take you all know why we're here. Geez, you're all a quiet bunch, aren't you? You're all here to suss out who done it. Oh God. Ugh. This was made by an Among Us fan, I'm calling it. In other words, you're on trial to figure out who the culprit of today's heinous crime is. Do you think you could just get away with the murder and win the prize? Nah, it's not that simple. The rules are as follows. Discuss, discover, determine who the culprit is among your group. The majority will steal the individual's fate. Heh. We'll just see what happens from there, yeah? One of few outcomes will occur. Determined incorrectly, and the entire class will be executed with the culprit able to walk free and win the ultimate prize. That's the ideal endgame for the culprit. Determine the vote correctly, and the culprit alone will receive proper retribution and perish at the hands of the group's decision. Phew, you might live to see another day. Our victim today is Pandora Esprit, the ultimate baker. Such a sweet young lady who could do nothing wrong, or could she? Well, people can surprise you. So with that out of the way, get to talking. Who exactly are you? What, you're still asking even though I introduced myself all nice? You should have bigger concerns than that. Talk about the murder. I can't believe who did it isn't your top priority right now. Huh. No one wants to talk? Yeah, reminds your lives are kind of on the line. If none of you start talking, you all default to have losing the trial and you'll all be executed. And you don't want that, do you? Executed, what does that mean? The dictionary form of execute, to carry out a sentence of death. It's really quite simple. On the other hand, to make my job easier, I don't have to listen to a bad, I don't have to listen to a bad deduction. On the other hand, it'll be a terrible board if this game didn't go past the first chapter. Wahahaha! Everyone, please, we need to discuss who figured out and who could have possibly done the unthinkable. As trifling or even irrelevant as something may be, if you have any concerns about the case, speak now. It's scary. Say, are you okay? And say, are you okay? Say, please don't push yourself. Yes, thank you. If he wants us to talk, I'll talk. I'll talk about how scared I am. I just want to go home. I can't get used to anything around here. I don't know any of you people. And someone gets killed? Ugh. Say, I understand it's difficult, but discussing our friend's death is necessary to ensure we don't find a similar fate ourselves. At the very least, we can try to remember our last moments with her. That Zero is right. We don't want to go down without a fight, right? We don't. Why don't we begin Pandora's last known whereabouts? The silence of the room was oppressive. The trial to defend ourselves. Why did I need to defend myself if I know for a fact that I would never kill her? Regardless, no one knew where to start. Well then, I shall begin. Last I saw her, we were sharing a quiet breakfast. I can back that up. The group was comprised of Art, Echo, Misty, Pandora, and myself in the dining hall, and that was around 7:40 a.m. to 10 a.m. That's a long breakfast. After that, we kind of went our own way. I went around the mission with Echo to talk to the others who weren't at breakfast. Who do we see again, Echo? Cannon, Forte, Misty, Lily. Because we didn't see Cannon. Oh, yeah. Those people were Say, Cannon, Fort, and Lele. And we asked them about their talents. That's right. But when we were touring the mansion, we met with those four and no one else. The only ones we didn't see after breakfast were Pandora and Ashley. I mean, we went with Pandora when we were talking to Cannon, but she didn't stick around. Stick around. Stick around long. And she had somewhere to be and left to go with who knows where. And there was a period of time. So there was a period of time which no one saw Pandora's last. Is that correct? The window apparently being somewhere between 10 a.m. to approximately 4 p.m. Can anyone else provide their whereabouts in the approximate time frame? I was alone in the study for a good portion of the afternoon. I went to the theater at about 2:30 p.m. Oh, so you must have just left when we went in. I went in about 3 p.m. I spent time in my personal room. I wasn't in one place. I was investigating the mansion until 3. That is, I met up with Art for a little bit, eventually laid in the jazz club before 4. I was regarding myself with the amenities in the theater for much of the afternoon. I was in my room too. After I had a meal with Art and Echo, I went back and I didn't leave at all. I was in the auditorium for a while. Looks like there's been looks like no one has a particularly strong alibi except for Art and Echo, who can vouch for each other until 3 p.m. What does that mean? I mean, since many of us were acting on our own for an extended period of time, our whereabouts can be heavily doubted. Anyone could have lied about their activity instead of set up for a sort of trap and get rid of Pandora since no one saw each other. So we're all suspects? It's difficult to narrow down who is potential suspect on these claims alone. Let's calm down and think thoroughly. Why don't we move to the topic of the force motive question? The question, along with the motivation music, was provided to push someone to commit crime. We ought to figure out what about the question may have caused such distress. The force motive question. A small group of us talked about it briefly in the morning over breakfast, but ultimately we couldn't figure out the purpose of the question. Why don't we figure out now what everyone is present? Discussion commence. Oh, is this like non-stop debate? The purpose of the force motive question. The question is, are your talents true representations of who you are? Who are you beyond your talent? What could it mean? We should pay attention to the statement that might sound interesting. Question to provide a killer, it makes no sense. How could a simple question make us do something extreme as end someone's life? The moment we speculated that sharing the history behind our talents would only create a greater bond between us. Greater bond? Echo, I believe you led our discussion this morning. You should be well versed in what everyone had to say in the matter. Oh, whoops, that's right. We shared our thoughts and agreed nothing we said stuck us. Okay. Oh my god, I didn't mean to press that. My bad. I am be inclined to agree with that conclusion. It only makes sense after all. But it's also possible it's a tactic used to instill distrust and cause discord. Maybe this. What do you mean by distrust, Ash? Let's say someone didn't want to talk about their talent, despite the talent being something they highly laud. I mean, despite the talent being something that's highly lauded. If someone wouldn't want to talk about such an unassuming topic, their resistance should be suspicious, right? But because someone's talent is public knowledge, it doesn't necessarily mean that individual's life and practice behind it should be public as well. Ash, you kept your talent unknown to me for whatever reason. Are you saying you want me to believe you're suspicious? Of course not. How could you even say that? Did you ask someone about the forced motive question and not get an answer? No, I didn't want to bother anyone with such potential loaded question. Is my talent a true representation of who I am? I never thought about my talent as a representation of me. It was simply a habit that spiraled into something incredulous. Ashley, Ashley, stop being in your Kaede arc, please. I beg. I never would have thought racing would lead me to have such a would like I never thought. I never would have thought racing would lead me to end up in such a strange mess. Sorry to press you so hard, Ash. Art asked me if I knew anything about your talent, and I couldn't properly answer him. That said, I think this conversation eventually proved your point that it could cause discord. There's con- contention even between us. That's right. I'm sorry if if keeping it a secret hurt you, Echo. I didn't mean to tie you up in such complications. It's not complicated. You're my friend. If anything hurts, it's the fact that I burdened you with this topic. Well, that's the purpose of discussion, isn't it? To bring the ideas and theories to light. And I don't suppose I just performed an example of the question causing such an altercation. Oh, wasn't that, that's something. Best friends reconciling their differences for the sake of proving a point. I suppose every discussion has to start somewhere. Okay, as you were. Right. Thank you for your bookend zero. In that case, if the question posed was meant to make us look at ultimate student's talent an ends as an ends justify the means product, a justice means prize saved with what? The the end justice that means a saying in which a result is determined so important that any method, morally good or bad, may be used to achieve it. I need to quickly do something. Let me go to. After all, didn't we sign up for the preservation project knowing full well that we needed to bear an ultimate title? Ultimate title. A precariously valuable title someone receives for super excelling in their field of expertise. But what does this possibly have to do with the Pandora getting killed? There's no way anyone would was like jealous of her talent or something, was there? We were all strangers before meeting in this scary place anyway. Well, most of us. I fully want to believe I want to believe we all got along with her. We were all going we all got along with each other in fact. Without the killing game presence and pressure. I don't see how anyone could harbor any ill will. Nah, someone has gotta hate her. Shut up, Zero. What? What? I'm bored. You aren't talking about anything interesting, so I thought I would throw you all a bone to get the ball rolling a little faster. Not one single person is going to is going to be loved by everyone. That's just not possible. How could you say, how could you say that? She did nothing but show kindness and warmth towards everyone. Fedora only wanted to share good food with with good friends. Real food makes everybody happy. As I eat pretzels. Fedora, yeah, she always worked tirelessly to bring us together with her delicacies. Bleh. Oh, good show, everyone. You're all such great actors. I guess it's been fun watching, but the decision isn't really going anywhere. Oh. Let's put an end to this now. The case, the trial, it's an elaborate arc scheme. Lately, it's all an act. The reason why there's so few clues, it's just a way to save resources. Imagine if the folks setting up the game had to use a bunch of fake blood to create a scene. Though I suppose the sake of entertainment, such systems exist to waste resources. Laylee, what are you talking about? Pandora isn't dead. She can't be. Nothing adds up. But I suppose if you want me to keep playing, I'll say this. Let's think about who was first on the scene. If I recall correctly, it was Echo, wasn't it? Yeah, I saw Pandora's body first. When I called for help, I made Cyrus and Cannon arrive shortly after. Real. Pandora's in Mexico. Okay, easy. The culprit is one of you three. What? On what grounds do you think you can speculate that? Pandora's supposed time of death was 4:05, right? I'll set the scene. We're in the middle of our minding our own business in the mansion, not knowing what is to come. Soon, some nasty music starts playing, and one of you three starts getting stressed out. So you strangle the first person you see. How else could we narrow down the culprit? It has to be someone who was near the scene at 4 p.m. And that person couldn't have gotten that far after escaping the crime scene. In my opinion, the motivation to kill less stress from music is kind of shoddy writing, but at least there was an attempt. So I'm not the only one that feels like this is a interesting writing. So is everybody just secretly alive? Is that what they're getting at? Laylee keeps going on about the killing game being an ARG, but her death seemed so real. Huh? Wait, doesn't that mean everyone's alibis from earlier don't amount to anything? Bingo. I believe you all discussed your whereabouts. Up to approximately 3 p.m. latest. But no one said anything from then to 4 p.m. when the music started. Oh, oh shit. Laylee has a point. The crucial moment to consider is the time just before the murder occurred, obviously. If someone off Pandora via acute strangulation and made their getaway, it's not likely the culprit would have gotten far from then when Echo supposedly discovered the body. So with that window of action narrowed down to between 4 and 4:05, does anyone care to share their newly updated whereabouts? Oh shit. Very all in the approximate time around 4 p.m. leading up to the motivational music. If we follow through with Laylee's speculation, we might glean some information that will help us. No, that's wrong. Did you run to the auditorium when the music started playing? No, it's already around that area after hanging out with Lily. Why would I go to a giant room that echoes a void and that horrible music? Where, where we all were in the approximate time of 4 p.m. leading to. Misty joined me in the theater after the music started. I thought Fort and I could go backstage and control the sound system, but our attempts were futile. I was in my room still, hiding under the cover. Say you're so real for that. I told you, I was in the foyer, leading up to the music. The noise, sure. I mean, it was noisy, sure, but nothing I couldn't deal with. I was in the jazz club. I told Echo earlier, I was in the climbing center, and I saw no one suspicious dart past the open door. Like say, I was in my room too. Why did you leave the door open in the first place? I left it open in case anyone wanted to join me. That's it? Is that reasoning so unbelievable? I guess not. So I guess we have to... Wait a minute, Lily. I know for a fact that the jazz club is soundproof. That's right. When I attempted to play the Celio yesterday, you and Cyrus were just outside the jazz club yesterday. Neither of you seemed to have any reaction when we came out shortly after. That means the possibility that Laylee is exempt from hearing the motivational music. Does it? I suppose you're onto something, I admit. I don't even know what the motivational music sounded like, but nothing. That's an awful curious situation you found yourself in, Laylee. Sure, it's odd, but stranger still is how did Laylee know about the motivational music if he never heard it? The kiosks. Remember, they translate sound to text, but this time I only saw a message. I mean, it said something like preventing the atmosphere. Preserving the atmosphere of the room. Hmm. Zero? What's up? Really go to this trial, but if you're the announcement operator outside these walls, I assume you can assist with us, something critical. Assist us with something critical like this. Can you tell us what the kiosk message said in specific? Your current room is a special room that blocks out outside sound. Preserve the atmosphere of the room. Please enjoy to your heart's content. I didn't write that, by the way. So you're saying we could have avoided the noise entirely? Isn't that too convenient? Well, wait a minute. In that case, what if Lily was the one who killed Pandora? What did I just say that the music would have provoked someone to kill? Didn't we? I just say that it was the music that would have provoked someone to kill her. I was in the jazz club. I didn't hear the music, therefore I wouldn't have felt the motivation to. No, you could have killed her in the jazz club and moved her body into the spa lounge. That would explain the lack of clues in the spa lounge. This is troublesome. Did any of you investigate the jazz club afterwards? No, I was shocked in seeing the body that I didn't even think about looking elsewhere. I think we all were just astonished as soon as we heard the body discover chime. So perhaps Laley counted on that fact and did in fact kill her in the jazz club. He doesn't have an alibi for a large portion of the afternoon anyway. Saying something like scurrying in the mountain for clues, he could have spent the whole day unsupervised plotting terrible things that could have ended Pandora's life. Hey, haven't you heard of the phrase extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence? Well, it's not out of the question. After all, the ultimate puzzle master could have set up something elaborate. So elaborate that the answer to this murder puzzle goes right over our head. That can't be possible. I was in the climbing center, which is between the spa lounge and the class club. If Laley committed the crime in the spa lounge, I would have plainly witnessed the change of scene. You very well could have contributed to the alibi. Constructed that alibi to assist Laley in the in this dark activity. Now, why on earth would I lie about such a thing? Settle down! Yelling at each other with hypotheticals isn't getting us anywhere. Agreed. If we quail say in fourth worries, let's tackle the elaborate theory to go from there. Just to be safe, we shouldn't leave anything to doubt. If Laley isn't the culprit, we shouldn't have a problem clearing the air. Are you kidding me? Fine. What would my motive be for killing her? I didn't hear the motivational music, so that's out of the question. And I didn't speak I didn't speak to her about the force motive question since I haven't seen her all afternoon. So tell me, based on my lack of time around Pandora, do I even have a clear reason to get rid of her? Heck. Oh my stars, you are also bad at this. What? I'll tell you all for certain that that nothing happened in the jazz club. Huh? I'm telling you this because you're all just awful at this whole trial thing. Ha. Jeez, I guess this is what happened when you have no ultimate detective around, huh? Respect to Shuichi and Kyoko. Respect to the icons. And your ultimate photographer is so quiet. She's all about to drop dead. She's all about to drop dead at this point. Heck, if she did drop dead, you'd have to go through another trial. And I don't think we have I have the patience to watch you run circles at this rate. Alright, since it's clearly going now me and going nowhere, allow me to throw another bone. There's something strange about that note in the spa, don't you think? Lele was very conveniently managed to redirect the conversation from the piece of evidence on the scene. Aha! I'll let you think for that yourself. The note. The note must have something to do with Pandora's murder, but what? I'm certain that Art if Laylee knows something about it, but since Laylee brought it up with us, but hello? What's with all the dead air? Don't want to talk anymore? I don't want everyone to die without giving the trial your best shot, do you? Like, are there any of you even trying to save yourselves? Maybe I should stop giving you these opportunities. courtroom fell silent. It seemed very seemed. I mean, it seems we all neglected the gravity of the situation, or rather, we were avoiding it. It's just nothing felt real. Pandora's death, her body hardly showed any signs of an injury. It was like she was asleep. It was as if we all wanted to forget the reality of the topic at hand, which was that someone had killed our friend. We kept dodging and darting around the main issue. Yes, as painful as it is, we must discuss the murder. It seems hopeless at the moment, but since we don't have much information to work with, but clues will reveal themselves as we bring about the contents of the topics light. So, don't hold your tongue. We must feel this to save ourselves. Then, I'll start with her cause of death. From there, it'll probably be easier to reason out the potential culprits. According to the Monokuma file, it was strangulation. Can we identify that she was what she was strangled with? Probably a towel, or maybe her strings on her body. We have to touch upon the possibilities. It may be difficult to think, but no one said such a fight would be easy. What has Pandora struggled with? Is there something we're missing? I was thinking it might be roped in the climbing center. It's horrifying to think about, but perhaps the culprit used their own hands? No. Let us narrow our thoughts and eliminate things that would be unlikely. We also ought to think about in the spa lounge could be used. I think it's more likely to be. I can't bear the thought of someone using their hands to do this. It's too cruel. Wait, Missy. If you think about it, though, if someone was grasping so tight, don't you think there would be fingernail marks dug into the skin? Or I yield that you could be right. There isn't any signs of such brutality. I wouldn't easily forget something as violent as nails being dug into the skin. If that helps clarify the possibilities, I suppose I'm relieved to hear that. So it must be the rope. Rope seems like a common enough tool in things like this. Yeah, but Cyrus said he didn't see anyone near the climbing center. I don't recall seeing any rope left in the spa lounge. The culprit could have retrieved it far in advance to dispose it after the fact, though. I guess, but why not dispose of the suspicious note as well? It was left in such a conspicuous place. Isn't that strange? Oh, Well, as long as we're able to eliminate options, it'll get us closer to the truth, right? Okay, the trans man did nothing. What in the spa lounge could be used? If we consider the following. If the climbing center and the jazz club were occupied by one person, neither of the occupants saw anyone else during their stay. And the killing occurred soon after 4 p.m. music. So it's likely the culprit would have used whatever was available on location. What, if anything, could be used? I think. It's probably the strings on her. Oh. Could it be? Echo, are you onto something? I think so. I just brought up a good line of what made me rethink the scenario. I just realized I have no tags in my. Let me fix that. But that could probably get us a few more people to join us. Because like we have three people watching us, and like I love you three. But I do hopefully want like a few more people to like watch us. Um, YouTube Studio. So okay, I added um. Oh wait, hashtag playthrough. Hashtag stream. Hashtag stream. Hashtag let's play. Okay, save. I'll also add the same tags to my last one. Okay. Not like huge on like, oh yeah, I need people to view me, but like it's just like it would be nice to have some more people watch this chaos. Okay. Anyways, back to this game. I think so. You brought up a good line of thought that made me rethink the scenario. I recall seeing something that may answer our questions. Oh? Believe the culprit may have used a towel to strangle her. It's unassuming object, isn't it? Of course, there are going to be towels in the spa lounge, so the culprit took advantage of the location and utilized the towels available. The tool being the very towel that was resting on her head. Then they must have strangled her by wrapping the towel around her neck and pulling until she stopped struggling. She stopped struggling and breathing all she until she stopped struggling and breathing altogether. It would explain the lack of fingernails dug in, and, well, explain why I didn't see anyone near the climbing center and the, event rope was used. It might just be it might just be conjecture, but it was the best thing we've got so far. But there's something bothering me, if I may. What I don't get is why Pandora's seemingly so relaxed in the spa. She was reclined and there wasn't any signs of a struggle in the whole room. Must have been, uh, I mean, there must have been the obnoxious playing in the spa too, so I doubt she would have stayed. That is strange indeed. I certainly couldn't concentrate on the climbing grips once it started. The music was so annoying. I don't know it. I didn't know it was playing until I was outside. More importantly, Echo, did you bonk your head? Importantly, Echo, did you bonk your head or something? The spa lounge is soundproof. Well, huh? Well, I guess that makes sense since I threw the door open upon entering. Hang on, the lounge is soundproof? Whoops, was that not common knowledge? Hold it, explain yourself. Does this have relevance to the trial? If the spa lounge is soundproof, and the motivational music was playing, and the motivational bleh, and the motivational music was playing through the rest of the mansion. Whoever was in the spa lounge with Pandora must have been aware of the music. Zero. I noticed your lack. You noticed your chaos. I noticed your chaos message. You didn't specify what room was soundproof. It simply said your current room is soundproof. Is that correct? I said I didn't write that. But I guess I did say that, didn't I? Fine. Yes, yes. All the second floor rooms are soundproof. Happy? All the second floor rooms? In that case, wouldn't Pandora have been completely relaxed and unaware of the motivational music when it started at 4 p.m.? Wait, that's right. Well, not the auditorium, but it's more of a giant hall than a room. No closed doors or anything, you know? I wasn't aware. I left the climbing center doors open during my stay, and so it's not just the jazz club. We probably s- we probably assumed the jazz club alone was soundproof because people perform in there. Now it has been revealed that Pandora was willingly in the spa lounge, relaxed and completely unaware of the music, presumably before it started playing in the first place. And even when it did begin, she wouldn't have been undisturbed by it, due to the soundproof quality of the spa lounge. Just a minute. That means the motivational music had nothing to do with the provoking someone to kill her. What? Echo, you have an idea on what provoked the person, don't you? I, you've had this look on your face since this afternoon. It's the note, isn't it? You've seen it before. In fact, you saw it before I brought it up with you in art. Finally, talking about the note. Oh my god. I love Zero. Zero, mm, Zero can kidnap me any day, if you know what I'm saying. I think it's the note too. Yes, I've seen it before. Huh? Pandora herself showed me it last night. Pandora? But how did she see it? Laylee said it was the announcement special gift from this morning. I lied about that. There was no special gift. If someone did show up, I was just going to randomly call them a chump personally. I'm actually also perplexed as to where that came from. Although maybe shouldn't complain. That note has made things very interesting. But he has snake bites and an eyebrow piercing and a nose bridge. He's so hot. Also, if Weeby News can simp over Monocro, I can simp over Zero. Okay, at least he's a human this time. What is this note you're talking about? I remember the scrap of paper we saw in the spa pool. Yes, it was soaked beyond legibility. That note we were talking about, mainly, namely, excuse me, mainly a note to be kept in secrecy. I remember it said, "If you recognize one of the symbols depicted, then you have finally found me and are safe. Please do not speak of this note's existence. Trust no one but yourself." It had two emblems on it, and the note references, and I saw one of those emblems on this shred of the wet paper at the spot. Pandora was in possession of such a dangerous, suspicious thing. The culprit must have saw that she had a note, or no, I mean, had no on hand, threw it in the pool, and to soak it and destroy it. If they were, they were probably afraid of they were probably afraid of ramifications of protecting the recip- other recipient and what effect it could have on the rest of us in the killing game. They probably thought that whoever is in possession of the note must be linked to the game itself. Then wouldn't the culprit be the one of the few who knew of the note's existence? That's right. She reacted when Zero first mentioned it. Say, you reacted when Zero mentioned the note earlier. Have you seen the note before? I I've never seen it. I see. But how could that be? Lily said that she saw C go into the pantry after she left. After he left, also saw the note. Before this trial, the only ones who could have seen it were Say, Laylee, Echo, and me, right? Oh shit. Okay, so our suspects are Say, Laylee, Echo, and Art. And I don't think it was Echo. I really hope it wasn't Echo. I swear to God, if this is a reverse Kaede, I feel like it's Laylee. No, because Laylee's our antagonist. I don't know. The auditorium special gift was a lie. Then what's the secret note being in the pantry earlier this afternoon? I mean, I mean, yes. Then what's with the secret note being in the pantry earlier this afternoon? I imagine Pandora herself must have left it there, seeing as she was utilizing the ingredients from the pantry to make breakfast this morning. She just left it there? Then why were there similar notes in the spa pool? She couldn't have left it out of her possession if it's supposedly a note to be kept in secrecy. Wait a minute, then are there two notes? But we still don't know where those notes came from in the first place. Ah, none of these random details are making any sense. I'm also having a hard time sorting out the relevant information. Indeed, it's becoming difficult to define the truth. What is truth, what happened when, and why things are be. Blech. Indeed, it's becoming difficult to define what is the truth, what happened when, and why things are as they are. Can't we try and lay down a timeline of events? That could be our heads and straighten things out if anything. A timeline of events. Yes, I think that could help. I noticed a handful of discrepancies that could use clearing up. Perhaps I ought to take the event back to last night when Pandora showed me the secret note. The note seemed to be the biggest complication. Pandora pulled me aside at 9 p.m. The lights started to dim. 10 p.m.? That's it. Yes, it was 10 p.m. I remember the lights starting to dim during our conversation, indicating the start of nighttime. The following morning, which was earlier today, we can assume Pandora must have been up earlier than everyone else to begin preparing breakfast for us. A small group of us had breakfast conserved, which was forced. order of question rang at 9 a.m. I love how he has a little nodding animation. That's right. The first mode of question announcement rang at 9 a.m. I briefly touched upon the topic, but ultimately didn't feel any motivation to conduct any sort of killing, likely to likely to charge in of the announcer. Afterwards, I planned to go back to my room, but Art stopped me and we went around asking other students about the question. We were occupied with asking around 3 p.m. Yes, that's it. But just before 3, Art and I ran into Laley as he was going into his room. We talked to him a little bit about the question, but he had little to say about the matter. During our conversation, he brought to our attention the secret note, the same secret note Pandora had the night before. Laley claimed that someone had left the note in the pantry? That's right. And the person who was last in the pantry before him was Say? That's it. Laley claims he saw Say scurry from the second floor auditorium to the pantry back and out again. After Laley showed us the disarmed door and the secret note, Art and Laley went off to their own and went to the study at 3 p.m. While I was in the study, another announcement rang and started playing, and started jarring motivational music that once again attempted to start the killing. The motivational music started at 4 p.m. That's right. I recall the announcer saying the time. I ran out of the study in a panic, trying to find any other students. In the auditorium, I saw a shadowy figure at the top of the stairs. I followed them, but lost track of them, which instead led me to discover Pandora's body. If I was only able to keep the shadowy figure, perhaps this trial would have been over sooner, but it's strange. I couldn't seem to add anything up, despite how much we knew. Or rather, perhaps there was some other unforeseen factor in the contribution to Pandora getting killed. No, real. This is like I'm struggling. There has to be something missing. I felt an easy anticipation tugging at me, something willing me to continue the pursuit of whatever force caused this mess. I had to try. Uncovering the truth was more difficult than I thought, but Pandora would tell me to not give up. I had to narrow down where the strange factor's weak point was. I thought about the scenario from the starting point when the note was revealed, since it was the topic of connect. Perhaps I ought to think backwards from Pandora's death to see if there's any holes. Pandora was killed in the spa lounge. Is this meant to be like the... I don't know what's happening anymore. I learned that the spa lounge had soundproof qualities. If Pandora was there, with the door closed, she would likely not have been disturbed. Wait a minute. I first entered the spa lounge. I was initially under the impression that there was motivational music playing within. Little did I know, I was only playing because I had thrown the door open, ruining the soundproof quality of the room. However, someone noted that they were unaware of the music until they moved from one area to the next. The fact that the climbing center and the jazz club were already occupied, and neither Cyrus nor Laley claimed they were with company. This person could have left the remaining room and shared the soundproof quality of the other two. Why was Pandora seemingly so relaxed in the spa? She was reclined, and there wasn't any sense of a struggle in the room. There must have been obnoxious music playing in the spa too. so I doubt she would have stayed. That's strange indeed. I certainly couldn't concentrate at the script climbing once it started. That music was so annoying, I didn't know it was playing until I was outside. More importantly, Echo, did you bonk your head or something? The spa lounge is soundproof. There it is. Oh my god, it's art! It's art! It's art! It has to be art! By making a remark of the change between locations, the culprit could have only been the spa lounge before the motivational music. By that logic, the culprit must have shared the room with the victim. Art must have been in the spa lounge with Pandora before she died. Oh my god. No! Fuck. Why? Why art? God damn it. They really killed off Sonia 2.0 and Kazuichi 2.0. Everyone, I think I have the full picture. What was it with you? You were totally spaced out for a second. Be quiet, you. Oh, yes, ma'am. Echo, was there something we're missing? Yeah, I think something might have slipped right under us. We've been looking at this, guys, that the motivational music had everything to do with the murder. However, there's a discrepancy in that thinking. Pandora was never exposed to it, yet she wound up the victim to its effects of it. We discussed and discovered all the second floor rooms are soundproof from the outside noise when the door is closed. Case in point, Cyrus leaving the climbing center doors open and lately just undisturbed in the jazz club. But then I note But then I know something strange. They mentioned that they were unaware of the music either. That is, until they exited the presumably soundproof room. Neither Cyrus or Laylee ever encountered anyone during their stay. The process of elimination, the only room this soundproof could have excelled would be the spa lounge. I don't know if anyone else picked up on that, but I think I know who the culprit is. Art. Art, did you kill Pandora? Art? What? Hang on! That can't be. Please, yield. Echo, this thought of yours is awfully bold of you to point the finger at someone so conclusively. Well, there's only a shred of an idea, but it's the only piece that fits. We put the timeline together, beginning from when Art and I separated at 3 p.m. It's not only unreasonable to assume that the crime was conducted during a smaller window after Art and Laylee separated, and before the motivational music. It's been stated several times that what? You're just gonna listen to that tiny impossible statement? Art, say something. Don't let them tell you what's what. It's nonsense. Well, what? In fact, he was with me in the jazz club until 4 p.m. Yeah, isn't that right? Lily, I know, you know you're beyond the vial of smoke in the mirror at this point. What are you implying? Yeah, it's far too late for you to defend him. If you two were together, it would have been mentioned ages ago. The shadow I saw at the top of the stairs. It must have been Art fleeing the spa lounge toward the auditorium. He must not have known there was distressing music playing outside the spa. Otherwise, he wouldn't have let slip that he noticed a shift in music when leaving the spa after the fact. Grrr. Laylee, please, I think you should think about the events in your head. As such, I hate to admit it, but there's only one answer I can think of. Even though it's all speculative, I want nothing more than not to believe it. There's only one emmuta- em- ammunition we have. Art, we're your friends, aren't we? Please, if we're wrong, just tell us we're wrong. If it's all untrue, we can put this debacle behind us. Oh, poor baby! Echo. Do you remember what I told you when you asked me about the forced motive question? Yeah. I recall you said you like playing golf, but you haven't expanded your interest outside of golfing. Yeah. It's because they would never let me. It's a terrible existence being the ultimate golfer for them. No, no, no! Not the bean, not the baby. He just a baby. He did nothing wrong. All day I stand around in the sun, listening to jerks pitch listening to jerks pitch false interests and crummy business ideas at each other. I'm not playing golf. I'm just there to look good while they suit off, and while the suits are off playing corporate dep deception and back scratching. They made me hate golf. So the motive question, it made me think about what made me think about what I was doing. I wasn't having fun anymore, you know? Even though I'm great at it, I'm the ultimate golfer. Even if that's the case, I don't feel like me anymore. It's weird. I had more fun here hanging out with everyone, not indulging my talent, even though it's the thing I landed me here in the first place. I kept thinking about that. I kept thinking about the FMQ, about how I hate this part of me that blessed me with the opportunity to hang out with all of you people. Before I knew it, I wandered into the spa lounge and waiting for some peace and quiet, and I thought no one was there, but Pandora was there, quiet as a mouse. I didn't even hear her. I sat next to her. She was so nice. Good afternoon, Art. Care to join me? Sure thing. Are you alright? Did I scare you? I mean, I didn't scare you, did I? Oh, no, I didn't notice when I came in. You know how it is. Headed somewhere else and all. I see. It's the beans! No! No! Art, may I ask something? What's up? I believe I heard you influencing the merger between yours and Laylee's schools, am I correct? Yeah, that was a while ago. That's such an amazing accomplishment. I could only wish to achieve something half as grand as that. Oh, it's nothing. I hardly remember it. If you insist. I mean, it's nothing to sneeze at either. I'm sure the students of both high schools have benefited greatly from the feat. Yeah, probably, but I wouldn't know. I only went to school for a year before I was pulled out to focus on golfing. I had a private tutor to cover the difference. Oh, that's quite a generous offer. I hope you can use your talent and position to help more people. I don't know if it's that big of a deal. I have faith in you, Art. In fact, I believe all of us have the ability to include beneficial changes like that if we're given the opportunity. Ultimate students, we have the power and passion and influence in our hands, just like them. I hope we can use it for for the good of the future. I know we will. Yes, at last, I finally found them. I didn't know what to say. Passion, influencing change isn't rosy as she chalks it up to be. The only thing that my talent has ever gotten me was trapped. I used golf all the time with my grandfather before he passed away, but it was taken in by some company who wasn't, who wouldn't who would take care of me. 3 square meals and a comfortable place to live. I always played perfect games, perfect but boring, day in, day out, and it was the same thing. I thought it was to show my skill, but every game was just an outside business conference. Eventually, I honed my skills enough to hit a hole in no matter what. I played short games no one would ever care to watch, but I ace it and they love it. I whiff it and they eat it up. At that point, I didn't care what I did. Using my talent for the good of the future. What about my future? I didn't want to stay in with the group, I didn't want to stay that group for the rest of my life. I thought escaping the preservation project would finally free me from that imprisonment, but everything's all messed up. When Pandora closed her eyes, I felt a burning. She said she found them. Who was she talking about? She was obvious right. I didn't know what to say. I took the note she had and threw it into the pool. I wanted it to go away. And then everything happened in slow motion. It was like my body had moved on its own. My head was running, my hands narrowed to the towel on her shoulders, and everything was red. It was like there was a fire in my head when I heard her gasp. My arms were tense, and eventually, I'm sorry. Fucking damn it. God fucking damn it. They need a redemption game. They need a second game. I'm sorry, Laylee. I was trying to have fun with you. I mean, I was trying to have fun with you earlier. Huh? My good for nothing talent made me despise golf. I've never had fun with it since people discovered that they could use me for their business deals. Running around with you, figuring out a big puzzle is the most genuine fun I've had in a while. Thanks, Lily. No way, no way. This isn't real. I mean, you're just part of the fake game, right? You didn't kill anyone. You're an actor. Tell me you're an actor, and the whole story was a fake. Art, tell me this isn't real. It was miserable. Like all of us, Laylee was struggling to come to terms with the fact that Art, of all people, Laylee, this is the truth. We have a shred of evidence to go with the confession. I don't know if I can point out a culprit based on such little proof. Missy, you want to keep discussing even at his petitious confession? I'm able to have my doubts, am I not? I can't accept it. I'm sure the rest of you are also having trouble just the same. Doubting is the only thing keeping me from fully realizing the weight of lofty and impossible to swallow truth. If I can doubt, I can still cling to the possibility of Art not committing such a horrible crime. Missy, you're dueling yourself with false hope, just like the unfortunate, misguided Laylee. Such thinking is unsustainable. There's no need for doubt. Canon? I have indefinite proof. Oh no! Oh shit, Cannon's gonna be a target. I'm calling it. She's a target now. Cannon. It was small, but it was unmistakable. Art sat at the base of the auditorium centerpiece globe with his head in his hands. The fellow looked to be taken from the second floor entryway. That means the shadowy figure I was. It was me, following Art as he fell from the spa lounge. Huh? It was the foyer, remember? I mean, so when I saw Art emerge from the spa lounge, I went to tail him, following him after the entrance of the auditorium. Then I heard you shout for help, and I didn't. I mean, and I did, and about a fit. I mean, and I did, and about face. Little did I know I would stumble upon everything that he was running from. Oh shit! Shit! What the heck is this? Canon, such a weird photographer. So, does it settle your doubt, Missy? But why wait to reveal such damning evidence? You think I want the blood on my hands? If I presented this photograph, we'd know the culprit for certain thanks to me, because I'm always unlucky enough to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. I don't want to bear the weight of my conscience. I know it's selfish, but take it or leave it. Then, I suppose it's settled. If you can agree on this unquestionable of the truth, there's no room for doubt. It seems like you've all come to a consensus. In that case, it's voting time! This is the final phase of the class trial. Vote for who you think the culprit is. After all that jabbering, you better have a solid answer. Don't just let any of the sentiment doubt or have faith in whatever you keep from saving yourselves. It's voting time! Do I actually have to vote Art? No! Let me vote. No! Fuck. No! No! The baby! No! 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 And we have a winner. The culprit responsible for the murder of Pandora Esprit is none other than the ultimate gopher, Aruto Campanino. Oof, took long enough. Let's try and do better next time, alright? But for now, it's time for the grand finale. You've reached the exciting destination at the end of your first class trial. The destination beginning, punishment time! Oh wait, we don't even get to say goodbye? Please tell me we get to say goodbye. Punishment time? Well, yeah, eye for an eye, right? He was caught, too bad. Recap Rule 5. To expedite the process towards the ultimate prize, one must kill a fellow student without getting caught. Oh, but what happened when they do get caught? Recap the trial rules. Determine and vote correctly, and the culprit alone will receive proper retribution and perish at the hands of your group decision. It's bizarre. I've run for Echo's controversial specific memory and Cannon's terrible luck pulling her to witness him. Art may have gotten away. Do you have anything to say for yourself, Arto Capopino? This was what the preservation wanted, wasn't it? To kill and live on, to prove your strength above the other ultimates. What? What? You think you're going to live on? Whoops. You clearly don't have the emotional construction to carry the people's future. What? No. You let your fears and anxieties eat you until you broke. Stop. Why? I'm shocked Pandora didn't live. Please. She lost to you. A weak, vulnerable, pathetic. I couldn't bear to hear it anymore. That's enough. A shiver when a silvery voice raised from somewhere in the room. That voice, it was the other announcer. The voice welcomed us to place wasn't here. Zero, stop this at once. Oh, you. I believe I got rid of you, but you still came back. So weird. Uh-huh. See what I did there, Eve? Eve. These students revealed the culprit, but that was not. It was not sufficient entertaining enough for you. Yeah, they sure did, but geez, they took a while. All right, fine. His face was so rich with despair, I couldn't help it. It was fun for you too, right? Stop this. Fine, fine. I'll get on with it. Haha, goodbye, Aruto Cappuccino, the ultimate gopher. Your execution awaits, and so here it goes. Zero's hologram worked out and half rumbling sound tore through the room. Something was coming. Oh no. Oh no! 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 Courtroom fumbled beneath us. One of the trial ground walls slid open, revealing a dark pit beyond the walls. Within, a golf cart came shrieking out, drifting and encircling our stand, and stopped squarely behind Art. Mechanical arms swept our off the feet, pulling onto the cart that had hardly stopped for a second before peeling back into the darkness that it came from. Art became sequestered from us. All we could do was watch in horror as his fate was projected onto the screen in the middle of the trial grounds. Art was tossed unceremoniously onto what appeared to be a sand bunker in the middle of a giant miniature golf course. In a daze, he rose, coughing up sand and meeting the gaze of the Kitsch Bar statue holding a raised driver. The bear twitched, its metal body groaned wearily as arms shook it to life. A swing tunneled through the air. Uh, execution by I mean, at least we didn't get an animation of it, but like, jeez. Wow. Phew, that was worth the wait, I think. And it's funny. I hated golf. Little did he know. All those business deals he sat in on. Those deals were the ones that brought in the funding for the preservation project. The very thing he wanted to escape to. He thought he could fly away, but it turns out that his influence was unescapable. Life is cruel, isn't it? It was horrifying. I mean, a disgusted display mocking art's ultimate talent ended his life. He hated his talent in the last moments. It was all he saw. We all stood completely and utterly shocked. I'm joining you to cry in the corner. We all stood completely and utterly shocked. No one said a word. We all stood completely and utterly shocked. No one said a word. No one moved a muscle. An unmistakable sinking feeling froze over us. Despair. In return for entertaining me, how about I answer one question that has been drifting in your minds? Where are we? This isn't the preservation project at all, is it? Oh. I said one question only. Our beloved courtroom resides in the Monokuma superstructure. Remember those earthquakes? Those aren't going to bother us thanks to civil engineering. The wonders of modern technology never cease to... Huh? We never cease. Huh, so cool. Ha, I hope that satisfied your curiosity. I most certainly did not, you cad. Zero. The silvery voice spoke once more. You are a reaper of despair. Whatever you do ends in futility and provides no benefit to anyone. No benefit to anyone except for you and your horrible shindifude. Do not think for a moment you've won. I will continue to fight back even after what you've done to me. A silver light remains. Echo Pine. Huh? You received the title of the Ultimate Memory. Memory? Wahahaha. What is that? You have a technician photographer and a silly puzzle master. A tactician, photographer, and a silly master. Good memory for their skills has already required, wouldn't you think? I wouldn't even humor you with this one. The talent isn't even comparable to something remotely useful. Ultimate analytical prowess, like that one pathetic girl. Analytical prowess. Who has the ultimate analytical prowess? Come on, you've already given up trying, haven't you? Ain't no fun having any competition. Fine. Your queen is in trouble, and I have information neither nor your students will like. Cyrus Cyric is someone to be wary of. He isn't who he says he is. He's not an normal Ultimate student like the rest of you. He's much more involved in this game than you think. Ultimate Charisma is a terrible cover talent. You truly are clueless if you believed that. Zero, stop it. You meddled enough. What? And you haven't? I've been given this power for a reason, and I'm going to use it as I please. This isn't the answer. Whatever. Courtroom is closed. The losers can marinate in despair for the night. But tomorrow we'll get going again. Zero. Shut up. I'm tired of your poor, useless attempts of creating hope. You'll never win. You're a failure. That odd display, the two holograms cut out. What? What just happened? I was on the verge of tears. My whole body was shook violently. Erg. The weight of the bottom, there was a weight at the bottom of my heart, dragging my whole body down. It was like my head was going to split. Becoming trapped in a luxury mansion where I seemingly didn't belong. Stuck with a group of revered students with so-called ultimate talent. Getting involved in a class trial where we had to investigate someone killing someone else. Concluding with a gruesome execution as if everything wasn't enough. Why is this happening? I want to go to bed. For a long time. Why does the trans man have to be the sussy character? Before I knew it, my limp body drove to the floor and I kneeled over. My heavy eyes closed wearily and I allowed myself to sink to the feathery darkness. Eight students remain. Okay. Now, how long have we been streaming for? We've only been streaming for like 2 hours. So we can do another chapter if we want to. Save the game. Do we keep going or do we pause for now? Because what we could do is we could take a break, like an hour break, and then we could do chapter 3. I mean, chapter 2. I kind of want to try to get chapter 2 done today. Alright. Well, with that being said, um, this has been fun. And, I might try to do another stream later today. Might not, I don't know. But, stay tuned and find out. On, yeah, I had a lot of fun doing this. Um, yeah. Have a good night. Bye.